Hi, I am Puvanendran, Assistant Professor in Department of Commerce with Computer Application, KSR College of Arts and Science for Women, Tiruchendur. Now discuss about the indirect taxation. CGST and IGST Act 2017. Supply, meaning and classifications. Under Section 7 of the CGST Act, supply encompasses all forms of supply of goods and services, including sales, transfer, barter, lease, or disposal. Classification like composite supply, a supply consisting of two or more goods or services, where one is a principal supply. Mixed supply, two or more individual supplies of goods or services made together for a single price. Times of supply. Goods, the earliest of the following dates. Dates of receipts of goods, date of payment, date immediately after 30 days from the date of issue of invoice by the suppliers. Services, the earliest of the following dates. Date of payment, date immediately after 60 days from the date of issue of invoice by the suppliers. Date of issue of invoice by the recipients. If it's not possible to determine the times of supply, it shall be the date of entry in the books of accounts of the recipient. Valuation. Open market value. The full value in money excluding taxes where the supplier and recipient are not related. Transaction value. The price actually paid or payable for the supply of goods or services. Valuation rules. In case the open market value is not available, the valuation shall be determined using the rules prescribed under the CGST Act. Input tax credit ITC. Eligibility available to a registration person for inputs usually in the courses for furtherance of business. Blocked credits. ITC is not available on items like motor vehicle, food and beverage, and personal consumption. Reversal. ITC must be reversed if the goods or services are used for non-business purpose or if they are lost, stolen, or destroyed. Reverse charges mechanism. Under RCM, the recipient of goods or services is liable to pay the tax instead of the supplier. Applicable in case where the supplier is unregistered or specified categories of goods and services. Times of supply under RCM same as for goods it's earliest of the dates receptions of goods, date of payment 30 days from the date of invoice. For services like it's earliest of the date of payment 60 days from the date of invoice or date of invoice by the recipients. Registration requirements. Personnel liable to pay tax under RCM must compulsorily register under GST irrespective of the threshold limits. E-way bill. Definitions. An electronic document generation for the movement of goods. Requirements. Mandatory for interstate movements of goods exceeding 50,000 in value. To be generated by the consignor, consignee or transporter. Validity. The validity of the e-way bill is 1 day for every 200 km or part thereof. Integrated Goods and Service Tax Act. Purpose. Purpose to levy and collect tax and interstate supply of goods and services. Export and import. Export zero rated supply. Refund of input tax credit available. Imports are subject to IGST along with the customs duty. Interstate with intrastate supply. Interstate supply. Supply between two different states or union territories. Intrastate supply. Supply within the same states or union territories. Place of supply. Goods generally the location where the goods are delivered. Service depends on the nature of the services. Specific provisions are laid down under the GST Act. Anti-profiteering rules. Object to ensure the benefits of tax rate reduction and input tax credit are passed on the customer. Mechanism. The National Anti profiteering authority is empowered to examine the determine whether the reduction in the tax rates or benefits of input tax credit has been passed on the consumer. Doctrine of unjust enrichment definition: a principle that prevents persons from retaining a benefits or money received unjustly at the expense of another. Application in GST: in case of refund claims, the application must prove that the incidence of a tax has not been passed on to any other person. Procedures under GST.